Jason, as it is every single week, the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast is brought to the good people of Lee Summit by Budget Blinds of Lee Summit.
Budget Blinds!
Can I just say it?
You're going to say it.
I love those folks.
They are good eggs.
They are
Good eggs.
Good people that do a lot for our community. I don't know if we've mentioned this the last few weeks or not, Jason. But the wave of the future, when it comes to your blinds, your shades, all of the things in your house, do you know what it is?
Fancy colors?
No. Automation.
All hail our robot shade overlords.
That's right. Whether it's through a remote control, whether it's through Siri, Alexa, Google, whatever, voice commands, it's about automation. It's about energy efficiency. It's about safety. It's about Nick and Jason wanting to go to their homes and sit on their booties.
That's true, and I don't want anybody to watch.
Well, that's true, too.
Honestly, nobody wants anybody to watch.
Privacy is a big deal.
It's true, and we don't want to get up to close those shades. So automation is the way of the future. You can control your shades. You can time your shades. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. You should be going to Budget Blinds in downtown Lee Summit and asking them, what can I do to automate my window treatments?
So head on down to the heart of Lee Summit. Go see our friends at Budget Blinds. Tell them Jason and Nick sent you. You know what else is coming up, Jason?
I do, but I want to make you say it.
It's Chili Fest.
Chili Fest.
Look, we're like 51 days away from Chili Fest, which was gone for a year.
Not that we're counting.
Yeah, well.
Okay, we're counting.
I put this out on the Facebook's page for Link to Lee Summit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. We are happy to sponsor and be a part of this great community event. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different people that come in and that are cooking and competing. You can be a taster. You can pay and come and get a spoon and taste all the food. But most importantly, Jason, you and I, we're good cooks, and we expect to be taking home some hardware.
This is absolutely true. We're going to lay down the gauntlet. We're going to whoop somebody in one of these categories.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, we're going to give a shot in all of them.
I am confident enough to say that we expect hardware. I am not so confident as to say which category that is.
We don't want to narrow our options. You got to brag broadly, set the hurdle low.
Right. Well, you just described the entire podcast.
Is there like a wooden spoon for like the last place thing? Because we may be actually a better bet for that than some of the others.
That's still hardware.
That's still hardware.
That's still hardware.
We're taking it home.
You know what else is cool about this event is all of the proceeds benefit Coldwater of Lee Summit. Jason, they were one of our early guests. We should probably have them on again sometime soon. But this is a great organization that helps people in our community that have some needs. It helps them meet those needs. And what a great, fun way to help out some people in our community.
Additionally, it is an absolute fantastic opportunity for you to, if you have a business and you'd like to do that, it's a great team building event, good little advertising for your business. It's an opportunity to put your logo out there and put something that's fun and community minded out in your corporate identity. So it's pretty cool. And Nick, where should I go if I want more information?
All you have to do is go to your little electronic device. Visit bridgespace.us/chilifest for more information. Join the fun, and really, you can come compete against us, but you should know we're taking home some hardware.
We're going to win.
Hello, and welcome to this Friday conversation edition of the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast. My name is Nick Parker, and with the exception of reading for our amazing sponsors, this is the last time you're going to hear from me today or the following 2 Fridays. And that's because a group of local teens are taking over the Friday episodes for the next 3 weeks. This stems from the Community Task Force on Youth Mental Health and Suicide Prevention. What this group of 14 and 15-year-olds have done is they came forward and said, the one thing missing from our community conversations in youth mental health is the actual perspective of real youth. So for the next 3 Fridays, the microphones are theirs as they bring you candid conversations on mental health, technology, and life as a teen in our suburban community. If you have questions for this group or topics you'd like to hear more about, please message us through our Link to Lee Summit Facebook page or by email at nick@linktoleesummit.com. And finally, before we turn it over to Riley, Hudson, Mallory, and Olivia, I'd like to give a big thank you to Lee Summit Care's Rediscover Behavioral Health and FirstStepForHelp.com for facilitating not only this, but many other community-wide conversations on this topic, and for supporting Link to Lee's Summit's efforts to give teens a voice. Riley, Hudson, Mallory, Olivia, take it away. The mics are yours.
Hi, my name's Olivia. I'm a sophomore. I'm 15 years old. I'm really into flannel and jewelry. We're here just because we want to let everyone know technology is such an amazing thing. It connects people. It lets people know that you're not alone. Truly, like there will always be someone there for you. If you are struggling, just always know there's someone here for you. But to also remember, there is there needs to be a time when you need to realize maybe enough is enough and take a step back and just enjoy life, like outside of that screen, outside of that bubble. Enjoy where you are, whatever is happening in your life, good or bad. Just take a step back from that phone or tablet or computer and just realize, like, this is really cool that I'm, like, right here, right now. Like, and just be thankful and just always, remember that and don't always be sucked in by your phone.
Hi, my name is Hudson. I'm going to be a freshman, and I like to play volleyball and cook. Technology is going to be a part of our future, so it's really important to use it wisely. Personally, I use technology every day. It's a part of my life, and it probably always will be. It's kind of how I communicate with people when I'm just at home, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because, I probably should get out and talk to people more face-to-face, but also it's a good way of arranging things and getting to know people without, waiting to see them in person. As I said, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, because, we should probably get out, and it's a different kind of communicating when it's face-to-face, because you're really getting to know the person more closer if you're talking face-to-face. But then if you're talking online or using a phone, then you really get to talk to them whenever you really want to or need to. Online, you get to, you can talk to them anywhere. You can use emojis, so you can really tell, or sometimes you can tell how they're feeling about what you say or what you do. You can play games sometimes, like Game Pigeon. That's always fun.
It's kind of a way for people to start a conversation, because it's something that we can all do. We all know how to play games on our phone, so whenever you're playing with another person, it kind of connects you. I know that there's people who send that whenever they like someone, and
they don't want to start a conversation.
Yeah, they don't want to be a normal person and go up to them and start a conversation or ask them out on a date. So listen to Mate Ball instead.
I would say it depends on the conversation, because there have been plenty of opportunities where if I could text someone, hey, I'd like to step down from this, blah, 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 that would be much easier than me being that in person.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's harder when it's someone whenever you have an interest in someone. I just know, not really me. I don't really care. I'll go talk to someone.
I'm so shy.
Yeah, so
it's easier for me to just stay behind the screen.
Yeah.
And not go face to face.
Online, when you're talking to someone, you don't know, you don't see when they react. So you can say things more easier, but that can also be more of a bad thing. So if you were to say something mean or cyberbully, you won't see their reaction or how they feel. So.
Yeah, and I think it's so much easier to cyberbully, because you can you're not face to face. You're hiding behind technology.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some people don't really care, but also at the same time, it's they can just disappear if they want to. I've seen people who are hey, I really got to connect this person, and then out of the blue, they just disappeared. They don't have an account anymore. They're just gone, and there's not much you can do when it comes to technology and that, I feel like.
Mm. It's tricky. It is, because, it can be a good thing or a bad thing being behind the screen, because, cyberbullying, yes, but also if you're a nervous person, it's an easier way to communicate with others, because you have time to think and process instead of just spewing out words.
Yeah.
Spew out text with your thumbs.
Yeah.
guess the question is, do you think people rely on technology because they can just process and wait and send, and if they don't want to see it, they don't have to? Or do you think that's beneficial to people?
I think some people do benefit from it, but there's also the downfall, because I think we're growing up in a way that we think it's okay to just text someone, hey, and then I've done this before. I'm not proud of it, but I've said hi to like a fellow classmate over Snapchat, like, oh my God, your dog's so cute. But then in real life, we don't talk, just because it is easier to do it over text. And it's not that I mean to. It just happens.
Yeah, and I've like made friends on like social media too that like go to my school. Like there's this one girl that like I would talk to like on Instagram or whatever, and then I like never saw her at school, and then the first time I like saw her in person, it was just a little bit awkward because we'd only like talked over social media, but after it was awkward, then we like got right into a conversation.
Yeah. And there are some, technology, talking to people, it's so interesting too, because I have a friend from Germany, like, and I would never ever talk to anyone that I don't know from school, but this girl, she for some reason thought that I was a girl who wrote a poem, and she was like, oh my God, your poem inspired me. I was like, that's not me. But we got to talking, and we started realizing we have a lot of things in common, and it's just weird because without technology I would have never even been able to talk to this girl who I have so much in common with. But now I actually text her sometimes, like, rough day at school. She's like, same.
Like, the first thing to address is, you said every parent fears it, but so does every teen. No one really wants to get offended online, but it's just something people deal with on their day-to-day life. And it can happen literally anywhere, and sometimes what happens on cyberbullying kind of bleeds through, that's the word I was looking for, kind of bleeds through into your everyday life. Like, I've seen somebody who got Instagrammed a picture one time saying that they were ugly, and then it, like, continued for, like, maybe 15 comments, like, yeah, just because one person started it. And then that next Monday, they came back and someone, like, posted that picture on their locker with the word ugly on it, and, like, that really killed their self-esteem. And I'm not saying that happens all the time, but it's definitely more common than people like to admit, I feel like.
It happens so often. Like, I've had people say stuff to me, but I just don't take it. I'm just like, okay, cool, you don't like me, that's fine. But my little sister, on the other hand, is constantly, like, just wanting everyone to like her, because she's always so nice to everyone. Well, at least from my perspective, I see her being nice to people, and I've seen it myself. These girls texting her horrible things, and her friends horrible things. I've seen to saying you should go die, to you never gonna get a boyfriend, which is weird because they're only in 6th grade. But kids these days are being introduced to technology so young. I got Kik when I was in 6th grade, just because we all had iPods and we couldn't use text messages. So if we wanted to go to the pool, that's what we did. But now they have Snapchat where these things disappear, and, it just is so interesting to me how low these kids' self-esteems are whenever they're just only 11 or 12. When they haven't even gotten to high school, which is when everyone's like, oh, it's going to stink.
Yeah. And I think it's so much easier with, like, technology to feel, like, it's not really cyberbullying, but it's so much easier to feel excluded or left out, because you'll see, like, you'll see, like, 3 of your friends hanging out on, like, somebody's Snapchat or something, or Instagram or whatever, and then you kind of start to overthink, like, why didn't I get invited? Are they, like, trying to purposely, like, leave me out? So I think it's so much easier to feel like that with technology.
Because it's not even like cyberbullying. It's just like all these things can make you feel so negative from social media. It doesn't have to be someone directly saying something to you in a direct message or comment. It can even be just a post, and it negatively affects you, which is so crazy.
I feel like what's scarier is that to think 5 years ago is like, I the concept of having a phone 5 years ago was like a really big deal, but now my 10-year-old brother is like, oh, I got an iPod, so do all my friends. He's like texting this girl, like, and he's 10. He's like, oh, yeah, that's just the norm. I'm like, 5 years ago, I would have been like, what the heck? You're privileged. Now it's just something you see. You see 5-year-olds at the store on their phones.
Yeah, it's just so crazy because technology, it just keeps growing as we go, and it's just more accessible. So younger kids are getting ahead of, like, getting access to it. And then our schools are even giving tablets to 5-year-olds, which is insane.
I mean, they also have, like, technology, like clinics for people addicted to technology, and there's 3-year-olds in there because of how, like, severe technology is put in people's lives so young, which is kind of scary because if that's 5 years ago, we were like, oh, I was on the screen watching TV on Saturday mornings or something like that, but it's scary to think what it'll be like 5 years from now when everyone's got a phone even younger.
Yeah, and it's crazy because have you seen the video of the kid who's holding a magazine in his hand and he tries to swipe it?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It's
one.
bad.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Like, he's literally just sitting there trying to swipe it, and he doesn't know how to use Pages, because like that I just can't even imagine. Because as a kid, I would flip through those little scholar books, like and I wouldn't read it. I was only 2 or 3, but just the fact that like everything is being so put into technology. Yeah, even books, to where it's put into, like, it's just crazy to me. Scholastic book fairs were the best thing ever. And now these kids are like, I would be so happy when I went to the library and there would be books.
Even like toys now, like my parents had a viewfinder when they were like 7 or 8, and now our version of viewfinder is like VR technology, and that's probably like 20, 30 years ago. So to see like what it was like then compared to now, even we kind of see that a little bit, and that was only like 5, 10 years ago, and we're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Everything's advancing so much quicker, which is a good and a bad thing, and I feel like technology is one of the things that it kind of, I don't know, I lost my train of thought.
No, we're on like the fast track, kind of. We're the generation that's going to be known as the, like, you know, tablet generation.
Yeah.
You know, my cousins can't go to sleep without having a tablet right here with them. Yeah. And that I know that there's studies about blue light, right? Yeah, blue light, that really mess up your everything. Like, your brain changes how you sleep. So I have that habit of sleeping with the TV on. And yeah, I mean, I know so many people, but I have to stop. I try to wean myself off of it, but now these kids literally can't fall asleep without looking at a tablet right in front of them. It's truly scary.
Yeah.
Today's episode of Lee Summit Town Hall is brought to you by First Step for Help. FirstStepForHelp.com is a place where you can go if you think you need help, or if you have someone that you're close to, a family member, a friend, you think maybe they are facing some tough times or a crisis, go to FirstStepForHelp.com.
First Step for Help is a free service designed to meet the health of the community. It's Missouri focused, but it does include the entire Kansas City metropolitan area. As you know, that the state line is kind of a porous thing, and we get back and forth across that. It's a 24-hour mental health crisis helpline operated by ComCare, which is a not-for-profit behavioral health management organization that works in collaboration with our community behavioral health centers and other providers to continually improve access to affordable, high-quality, and effective behavioral health services.
So visit FirstStepForHelp.com if you or someone you're close to needs help.
I think it's the control, because, like, that you have total control over, what you want to do, what you want to know. You can Google anything now. You can see what people are up to and even see where they are, which is kind of creepy, but that's fine. So, yeah.
I think it's just how everything is right there. Like, it's so easy just to, like, open your phone and you can get, like, anything, basically. And it's so easy.
Yeah, our parents say, you have everything at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
We do. So we want to constantly be a part of it. You can sign up for groups on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a part of group chats about, social justice stuff. Like, if you have a thing that you like, you go on the internet and it's there.
Right.
Anything you like. If you're, like, I literally can't think of anything that isn't on the internet, like, for someone to be a part of.
Well, I guess in this situation, I am not like most kids. I'm a homeschooled kid, so I don't really go out to school every morning. I sleep in, I get up, I go on my couch and do school. That's kind of just my norm. So I don't have as much social interaction as I'd like, and sometimes that does make me feel lonely and stuff. And technology, like texting my friends, "Good morning, how are you?" kind of gives me a little bit of that feel. Like, I actually got up this morning and went to school and said, "Hey, friend, how are you today?" So I feel like that's a big plus to it, but I also feel like since I spend so much time on a screen doing school, it's also, even in the school districts too, you spend so much time on a screen that I guess there's a lot of pluses that it does help move things along school-wise so that you can get everything you get done to be smarter and stuff like that done with it and connect with people. But I also feel like because of technology, it kind of puts like a barrier between social interaction. Mm-hmm. And especially since I started homeschooling, I feel like because I've been on a screen, I don't get to go out as much as I'd like or do everything socially that I feel like our parents did when we were this age, that they went out to go party. And I'm not saying go party, please don't go party. But they at least kind of interacted in a way we don't really do as much anymore.
Mm-hmm. It was different. It was kind of, we have more things to kind of worry about. I know every parent and since the dawn of time has been, careful when you go out there into the world. But now we have, I feel like, a lot more things to worry about. And, technology also helps us, our parents, they're safe, they're talking to their friends there rather than meeting up somewhere or getting a ride with someone else,
Mm-hmm. And I think technology also helps with, like, your parents worrying about your kids because there's apps that you can get where you can, like, track where their phone is at. So then you're like, okay, they're here. Or, like, if I'm going somewhere, my mom will be like, okay, like, text me when you're there. And you're like, okay. So I can just send her a text real quick, like, I'm good. So I think it also helps a lot with, like, parents feeling like their kids are safer.
Yeah.
I feel like teens understand how much we're on our phones. Trust me, if you said to somebody, "Hey, how long do you think you're on your phone?" I could probably say 2 hours, but I also kind of get monitored by my parents because they're like, "We don't want you to be the everyday teen. We need you to be different." And so I guess the question that I always ask when this conversation comes up is, what are we going to do about it? You can just sit here and talk, but there's not much you can do unless you go to extreme effort to do so.
Yeah, it's hard because, we are teens, like, we can't control much, we're not politicians or adults even, we can't even vote, but what we can do is kind of just, encourage others to kind of see what's happening, see that these little kids that are, growing up just tablets and nothing else, it's going to have negative side effects. There's studies, there is significant amount of research showing the negative effects of always being on your phone. And I think we do push it, and I think that in the past year, personally, I have not been on my phone as much. In 7th grade, I can tell you 4 hours a day, at least, especially in the summer. But it's just, I think people are more aware, but people still need to take action, just themselves even, to cut down on that time.
Well, I actually disagree with you that I feel like we do have a lot of power in our voice than, say, kids our age did 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago, because
100%.
just because we have all that stuff at our fingertips, it's super easy to share that out or just kind of go around and raise awareness. Like, how many times have you been impacted by someone just talking to you like, hey, this is kind of a little bit about this issue? And then I feel like that's more impactful than someone spreading information via like an article or something. But that also makes a big difference article-wise. And I've seen lots of kids just speak up through that, through social media. And I feel like that's a big, powerful thing, too.
I think the most important thing is just to the younger kids, actually to the parents of younger kids, you need to understand we don't constantly need to be entertained by a screen. We will be entertained by a box whenever we're that age. It's a lot of parents' responsibilities to get their kids out, take them to the zoo. Okay, I don't like zoos, but take them out, go to the movies, go do I just said the movies. That's still screen.
Yeah. I mean, go
I'm
to the
telling you
park.
technology, but like there are so many things. Paradise Park. Go to Paradise. Go on a walk. Just do something with your kid besides
Hand them a tablet.
handing them a tablet. And to kids our age, you lay off social media. We can do it. Like honestly,
Can we, though?
I think we. I mean,
we can.
I hope we can.
If you try hard enough.
If we try hard enough, I mean, I know people do it for Lent. They're like, giving up Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try and do that
For longer.
a longer time. People really can do it. Your streaks will be lost, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just think it's really important for people to take a step back and look at us and see, like, we need to interact just more with each other. I remember a year ago, or almost a year ago, I did the walkout at my school, and everyone was just in the moment with me, listening to what I had to say. And, people had their phones out recording, great, but they were in that moment and listening to what I had to say, and I'd never felt more empowered and never felt more connected to people. Cool, we talked about the walkout over text and Snapchat and Instagram, but we all came together in real life and we showed that we really do care.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's just truly amazing whenever, feeling that connection was just something I'd ever want to forget. So I just think people need to focus more on getting that human interaction in real life rather than over text, sending that 8-ball to the crush you like. Go and talk to her or him or whoever.
Yeah.
Just get out there. You don't have to hide behind the screen.
And I think to kids that are, like, in high school, I was just telling Olivia this today, like, high school is the last time you're going to, like, live with your parents, maybe, and, like, not have to pay rent, and, like, you get to see your friends every day at school, and then you're going to, like, actually, when you graduate high school, you're going to have to, like, be an adult and pay the, like, bills and go to college.
The big time.
And, yeah, so I think during high school, just, like, take the time to actually be, like, still, I know you're teenagers, but like a kid, and like don't stay behind a screen all the time because you only have 4 years of high school, and it's like the last time you get to just not do whatever you want, but also kind of just do whatever before you have to act like an adult.
And the habits that we have now. So if you're on your phone less now, more likely in the future, you won't be on it as much if you start now. Just like how PE teachers are like, eat healthy. You'll be healthier as an adult. Do the same with your phone. It's literally your mental health will probably improve.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I'll be at a dinner table or we'll be trying to eat and have a normal conversation, but then there's always that one person that has their phone up and is kind of distant. And I feel that you can get kind of disattached, if that's a word, to people in real life if you just are on your phone all the time. So make sure you're not on your phone all the time so you can get to know people better and understand and have social cues and stuff happen in real life, because like over phone it's not the same, and you've got to learn those for real life, and you'll become an adult and you'll need to know how to talk to a boss or someone important. And so just like limit time on phones so you can talk to people in real life.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. So, to kind of come back to the original question that we had of why did we come here today? And I feel like, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like the main reason we're here is because we care about our generation, and we're kind of here to empower one another to kind of help each other up, because there's so many people who feel like alone, and I personally felt alone in middle school and even high school, and I guess the reason I'm here is to say there are people out here like you that feel alone. I felt alone, but we are stronger together, and so whether that's through talking to someone through technology and motivating someone, saying, hey, you're going to have a good day today, I know it, or just seeing someone in face-to-face. It's always good to see someone face-to-face, but if you can't, know there's people out here for you, and it's like the biggest reason I came here is because I listen to podcasts. I'm kind of a nerd. It's fine. But
Podcasts are the best.
Yeah. Yes, they are. I'm a big nerd when it comes to podcasts and stuff. It annoys my mom like crazy, but it's fine. But
that's like good screen time right there. That's
Yeah.
good screen time. If you're listening to podcasts, like even if Sam Jones, like listening to celebrities talk, still something. That's me actually. I do that all the time.
more comic book. Oh right, sorry, I got focused. But it's okay to go on a walk. It's okay to go talk to someone next to you, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes we need a break through the social awkwardness, and that's hard for me to say because I'm very socially awkward. But I feel like phones give us a layer of protection that sometimes talking to people doesn't really get. So be okay with being open, and if you can't, just try. And that's kind of, I'm not very good with advice, so I hope that was good to somebody at least.
Oh yeah, that was good. Because it's true, some people do need technology, or it's easier to use technology, and some people you'd rather go talk to them in person. It's different for everyone, and that's what's so amazing about technology is that it gives everyone an opportunity, to get out there, talk to people, connect, and then you still have that option of going and talking to someone in real life. So that's that's the upfall and downfall of technology.
I feel like it's nice too because we have the world at our fingertips, that we can not only change the world, but we can find people we connect with. Because you said you like Sam Jones podcast. You know how easy it would be to be like Sam Jones podcast fan club. Boom, you've got friends, and those aren't real friends, but you could find and connect with people that way. I mean, I'm going soon to a cosplay thing because I'm a big comic book nerd, and I'm like, there you go. I had to Google it, but it gives me a real way to connect with people like me.
Yeah. No, I follow fan accounts on Instagram for countless TV shows just to, oh my God, American Horror Story, it's filming soon, and then everyone else that I talk to about it is excited about it because Mallory doesn't watch it.
No.
I've tried to get her to watch it, but
I just can't.
I get to connect with people that way, and it's really nice just knowing that there's other people out there like you, whether it be TV shows or connecting to someone who might have the same issues as you. I know that there's platforms to talk about mental health, and that has probably been a huge relief for countless of people, and it's really, really amazing what that can do.
I feel like there's a real power in just words, and sometimes you don't really convey that over a text or phone call or Snapchat or FaceTime that you can really do when you talk to someone, saying, hey, I care, or hey, I'm here for you today. I hope you have a good day. I know you said yesterday you weren't having a good day. People really do appreciate that, and I feel like people don't really realize that enough.
Hi, I'm Mallory. I'm a sophomore, and I love movies and animals. After having this conversation, I will spend a lot less time on my phone because I know I'm probably on it too much. And I'm going to try to step out of my comfort zone and talk more face-to-face with people that I am usually talking to, like behind my screen, and be more like present and in the moment instead of like wasting my time on social media or technology.
Hi, my name is Riley. I live in Lee Summit. I'm very old. I like musicals, and I'm a big comic book nerd. Supergirl and Flash, hit me up if you like it. But I challenge you to put down the phone, even if it's for 15 minutes. Take a walk or something. Say hi to someone you wouldn't used to. Maybe not anyone super creepy, but you be the judge of that. But just realize the power of face-to-face connection. And even if you're awkward like me, just saying hi can make a big difference to somebody.
Today's episode of the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast is brought to you by Shred KC. I want to take a minute here I want to promote a podcast. The Shred team, they have a podcast called Shred. I know, it's a surprise.
Wow. Wow.
It's hosted by Shred owner Ryan Waters and Lee Summit resident Aaron Simpson, who happens to own a few Anytime Fitness gyms. It's a pretty good show, Jason. They're about 35, 36 episodes in.
So they're probably hitting their stride.
They are starting to hit their stride. They offer a lot of tips and advice for people who want to change their lifestyle, to live a little healthier, whether it's you're losing weight, you want to gain strength, whatever it is. They've got some tips for you, and it's turned out really well.
So they do it in the same fashion that the fine folks at Shred we've talked about many times, and how they have handled your fitness journey as well as any others.
Yeah, it's very supportive and informative. Some of the recent episodes they've talked about explaining supplements, so that you kind of know what that game is. Because I don't know if you've ever walked into that section of a store or to a supplement store. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of letters and
to
stuff.
Look at. So they've had success stories on there, some guests to talk about what they've done. We do a mailbag episode with them every once in a while where they have me on and I get to read them questions from listeners and they answer those. So it's very, very interactive. It's a good show. Catch the Shred podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps. You have been listening to Lee Summit Town Hall, a Link to Lee Summit podcast with hosts Nick Parker and Jason Norberry. A proud member of the Fredcast Network, you can subscribe to this podcast on most of your favorite podcast apps and catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all the news, analysis, and conversations on the Lee Summit community. Connect with us on Facebook at Link to Lee Summit or on Twitter at LS Town Hall.